I've played some horrible games in my time, but today's game has to be one of the worst. Is anyone old enough to remember a game called Road Rash? If you do, you'll remember it was amazing. If not, you're probably too young. That said, this is no Road Rash. So welcome to Road Rage, a street racing, brawling, smash 'em up game where traffic laws are just mild suggestions, pedestrians are comically T-posing every second, and everyone on a bike has a baseball bat duct taped to their hands. The game takes place in an almost lawless near future city where the streets are ruled by chaos and anarchy, and gangs, of which I don't remember the name of. In Road Rage, I'll assume the role of a no-name, rogue biker. Creative, I know. At least, I don't think he's got a name, maybe he does. As rival gangs and corrupt law enforcement battle for control of urban zones, I'll be riding my bike, doing odd jobs and racing, smacking people in the face while doing it. Or trying to, at least anyway. With nothing to lose but my will to live, I'll embark on a journey with laughably bad voice acting.
5 years ago, the city of Ashen was voted one of the most culturally diverse cities in the world.
And physics so broken you'd think the game was still in alpha. Everything in Road Rage is held together with duct tape, not just the baseball bats. The graphics look like they were rendered on a barely working microwave, and the controls, well, the floaty, the confusing, and occasionally possessed, completely unresponsive at times. Believe it or not, Road Rage released in 2017, not 2007 or 1997, on PS4, Xbox One and PC, being developed by the folks over at Team 6 Game Studios. Very curious to see what else they've done. Regardless, this is one game I wanted to stop playing less than 5 minutes in, but I didn't because the game's got 34 trophies to unlock for the platinum. So let's begin. Right off the bat, I was worried. I got some incredibly bad voice acting, reading the text that was on screen for my intro.
Exactly 5 years ago makes the day all hell broke loose.
Wow, what is this voice acting?
We all knew too well that we were slowly being killed by the multinationals before day one.
Yep, that's what we're working with. And then, bam, I'm in game, on my bike. Wait, what just happened? No tutorial, no choice of what bike I started with, nothing. I guess they didn't factor in how to play this game into the budget. So I just pressed down R2, hoping I would accelerate. Oh my god, we have movement. And thankfully, it did. And within seconds, my hopes of reliving those amazing memories of playing Road Rash were dashed. Yeah, I'm not feeling this. Something tells me I'm going to be incredibly disappointed in this game. Because wow, this game felt like shit. I smashed some buttons. What am I even doing? I don't know what anything does. I mean, I know it's only a racing game, but come on, give me some buttons. Getting a taste of swinging the bat and instantly crashed. Plopped back on my bike. I drove on with my character riding the bike like he'd just had a stick stuck up his ass. I tried to get into some high octane combat and failed. And tried again, knocking down 2 and finished the intro, quote unquote. If you can call it that. I got a phone call and was treated to some more amazing voice acting.
I've got 10 others waiting in line to replace you tomorrow. Hungry to do twice the runs you do, slacker. Give me those runs, Sonia. I'll do them for you.
They wanted me to do some deliveries, so I rode my bike over to the mission and started the mission. Play hard, work hard. Something tells me the developers didn't. Anyway, I raced through a few checkpoints and about 1 minute later, I unlocked my first trophy called Time is Ticking for finishing a time trial. And that right there, legends, is mostly what I'll be doing. I answer the phone, get some horrible voice acting, and drive to the market to start the mission. Also, the game's music was so damn freaking loud and annoying, I had to turn it down like 4 separate times. At this point, I also checked the controls. I can attack the left and the right side and boost with triangle. I can also use X to drift, which I basically never used because it felt bloody useless. In the next race, I got my second trophy for winning my first eliminator race, which is basically, after each lap, the racer in last place is Gonzo, and I think the devs are messing with us because the trophy is called Still Here, as if they're surprised I'm still playing the bloody thing. But yes, I was still bloody playing. Why? I don't know. What I do know though is I'd earned a little cash. And believe it or not, you can customise and upgrade your bike. Don't get too excited though, because it's just like the rest of the game. Bad. I bought my first bike part and snagged the I Love Customs trophy. And then another pocket change for, and I quote, spend your first money. My guy somehow lived to the age of at least 30. Again, we get no real info on him, so I can't say for sure. And even had a bike without ever spending his first money. I wish I hadn't spent my first money on this bloody game. At normal price, this thing's 16 quid. Absolute robbery. Thankfully, I bought it on sale for under a quid. And I still feel ripped off. Some might even say it cost pocket change. Even the devs knew what this game was worth. Okay, on to Trophy 5. I wheelied, I jumped, and near missed completing my first stunt mission for the Evil Knee trophy. And yes, the jumping feels like ass. Doing a wheelie also feels like ass. And you guessed it, trying to do near misses feels like ass. Kinda how I feel right now, to be honest. Quickly got first place in my first circuit race. You don't need me to tell you what one of those is, unlocking first place. And at this point, I'd earned 32 grand, and for the next mission called Subtroit, that's the name of the city by the way, I had to purchase a new bike and 8 upgrades. Oh my god, you can get new bikes, even upgrades, and it's called the Decimator. This thing's gotta be good. Maybe it was the crosser that was bad and not the controls, so I bought it for 8 grand, unlocking new ride. And because it cost over 5 grand, it netted me an extra 2 trophies. Spend more for spending over 5 grand, and Big Spender for spending over 2 grand. I'm not sure why they unlocked in the wrong order, but whatever. I still had some upgrades to buy though, so I quickly bought some. Also, they can't even do purchasing upgrades right, because every time you do, the game just sort of freezes for 5 seconds after you do it. I'd now spent over 10 grand for Gold Tooth. After it though, unlocking I Want More. No, really, I don't. With the new bike, I can now take part in my first arcade mission. Do you want the bad news or the bad news? No, it wasn't the crosser. And yes, the new bike also controlled like complete turd. Not only that, it felt almost exactly the frickin' same. If you told me it was the same bike, I'd have believed you. So at this point, I was about an hour and 30 minutes in, and I'd lost all hope of this ever turning around. I was already burnt out, and it felt close to 10 hours than it did 1. But I continued on, because the platinum has to be earned, which I did. Getting time is on my side for finishing an arcade mission. And then getting into a police chase, outsmarting the cops in an escape mission, for I didn't do it, which translates to stay away by hiding in some weird area for 30 seconds. It would then take another 17 minutes to get my next trophy. Now that might not seem like much, but the trophy pops were the only thing keeping me sane and going at this point, and 17 minutes felt like a freaking eternity. Thankfully, the trophy brought a smile to my face when I saw the ragdoll after hitting a pedestrian with my bat for home run. What the hell is that? And then it got worse. 24 whole minutes passed before I got this one, getting found it for finishing a sprint mission. You might have noticed I switched characters a few times. Surprisingly, they're all voiced. Unsurprisingly, they're all voiced absolutely terribly. I ended up using this guy through the majority of my playthrough. Characters don't have any unique abilities or anything really. That would be asking too much. He did, however, remind me of Sebastian from The Evil Within. On another note, I had a little more cash, and while checking for upgrades I noticed you can even buy new weapons. So I bought a cheeky crowbar. And just like the bikes, it didn't feel any different. Maybe the swing speed was slightly slower, I don't know, but the baseball bat one-hitted every bike that I'd come across, so why even bother spending money on a new weapon? I don't understand. I guess it's just a visual thing, but once again, it just leaves you thinking it could have been done so much better. I did at least get the trophy for purchasing my first weapon. And over 20 hours later, oh, okay, not quite, that was in my head, it was actually only 2 hours later, to take on certain missions, you have to buy new bikes. And I had just bought my 5th bike for the collectors. And 30 minutes after that, it was over. I drove to the airport and finished all story missions. And no, it doesn't have a payoff, and no, I didn't even get any cool cutscene. Instead, it was just a little bit of text on screen just like the beginning. Exciting. Jokes aside, what was legitimately exciting was the credits rolled, so I didn't need to hear any more freaking voice acting. And things definitely started off strong as I unlocked 5 trophies within minutes. With all of the money I'd been getting, I went on a spending spree, buying 3 and 5 weapons for veteran and one-man army, got maxed out for completely upgrading at least 1 bike, and another 2 for buying 3 and 5 bike parts, making my bike look exactly like this game. Garbage for baby steps and custom king. And the trophies just kept rolling in because the next 7 trophies all came from collectibles. And I hear you already. Seriously? Collectibles? And I thought the same until I realised it only has 7 collectibles. Yes, that's 1 trophy per collectible, and yes, it means this game has at least 1 redeeming quality. It doesn't have a bajillion freaking collectibles. Throughout the game, I'd been completing missions working my way through the 7 different regions, so all I had to do was quickly drive around, grabbing 1 collectible from each of the regions. First, driving into the farmlands, smelling the fresh turd for that collectible, searching for Bigfoot in the forest. I didn't find him, but I did find the collectible. Also, you might have noticed, each time I get a collectible, the game freezes! Nothing surprised me in this game anymore. Drove past lots of garbage in Sub-Troy until I found this collectible, breezed into Chitaly, probably the best name for the place ever. Even better was a lot of the characters on a number of occasions just started calling it Shitaly, which, you know, did make me laugh. Drove downtown for the 5th collectible, visited Port Hemp for number 6, and finally headed to Roscargo Airfield, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, for my last collectible. That might possibly be the quickest open world collectible run ever, only taking about 10 minutes. It even felt like 10 minutes. Now that's a surprise, leaving only 3 more trophies. So let's play a game. What do you think we'll have to do for those 3 trophies? A. Purchase every bike. B. Buy every weapon. C. Win 100 races. Or D. Hit 1000 pedestrians. If you guessed C, you'd be wrong. If you guessed A or B, you'd also be wrong. So yep, I had to hit 1000 pedestrians. And you want to know the funny part? It doesn't even mean hit them with your bike. So I can't just run them over. It means hit them with your bloody weapon. Something tells me the developers did actually intend to just be like, just normally hit pedestrians because that's what the trophy description says. And they just, because everything else is broken in this game, there's like, screw it, we'll just make it, they have to hit it with a weapon. Either way, I tried hitting a few, and it was taking freaking ages. And to make things worse, the police would keep knocking me off me bloody bike and busting me. So I looked online and found that the best place was at the airport, because for whatever reason, the police can't reach you because of the crappy AI, which doesn't surprise me, because the AI is really freaking dumb as shit. Either way, I spent the next 2-ish hours slowly driving up and down this street, hitting 50 for civil disobedience, 500 for kill the walkers, and finally 1,000 for nice man. And that's the lot, all 34 trophies. I never have to play Road Rage ever again, and I was the most excited I'd been in over 7 hours. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you legends again on the next one, which can't be any worse.